Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2020 November kits again, and these are the beautiful Christmas kits full of beautiful holiday things. And I'm going to start with a cut file again for this layout, and I went ahead and cut this on textured white cardstock, and this is an exclusive cut file by Hip Kit Club. If you have a registered account with Hip Kit Club, then you can get all of these cut files that the design team members use for free each month. And so this is actually 2 cut files that contain different little Christmas trees. So I cut a bunch of them small size, and I'm going to kind of figure out a way to use these on a layout. And I've got 2 Christmas pictures here. These are of me and my husband from last year. We took a quick little Christmas trip to Las Vegas a few days before Christmas, and so I just took lots of pictures in front of all kinds of fun Christmassy things. And so I'm going to try to scrapbook these because I felt like these would be a bit of a challenge for me because there are a lot of dark colors in the photos. And my previous Christmas photos that I've scrapped for this month have been more on the light reddish pinkish side. And so we're both wearing black jackets, and then the Christmas tree is dark. So, you know, if you've seen the kits, you've got the kits, then there are a lot of black and white elements in the kits. So I thought, well, I think I'm going to try to challenge myself and come up with an idea to use more of those colors. And so I'm just playing around here, trying to come up with an idea for all those trees. So I took a break, came back, decided to use some white cardstock for my background, and this is smooth, thick white cardstock. This is the Basil Marshmallow cardstock, perfect for mixed media. And I'm using some clear gesso here to coat most of the background. I'm going to do lots of mixed media and basically create my own background using the color kits. And I'm using a 2-inch silicone brush there to scrape all the gesso on, and this is just going to prep the paper for all the liquid and the paint and the color that I'm going to add to it. Okay, so it's all dry, and what I'm going to do is I decided to put my photos kind of over to the right side of the page, and then I wanted to maybe create a forest of all those trees kind of behind the photos. But instead of making a sky, I thought that I would go with a pink background. I think this turns out really pretty, and this is a background that you can do. I'm telling you, you cannot mess this up. This is the easiest kind of background to make because you are just literally painting on color, adding water, and letting it run and blend until it dries. You can't mess this up. This is very easy to do. So I started out with the Lindy's Magical Powder that we got in the color kit this month. It's called Rudolph's Nose Red. And then I dripped in a little bit of a pink watercolor that we got several months ago from Art Philosophy. It's called Blush, and it's more of like a bright pink color. And that's what you saw me drop in there a second ago. But I'm just mixing these 2 colors together because I want this to be more on the pink side with maybe some hints of light red, which I guess light red is technically pink. But I did mix those 2 together. I'm adding water, I'm using a brush, and you can see how it's just sort of doing its own thing here. And I don't want to color the entire background. I just kind of want this, the pink to be maybe like on the top half or the top 3/4 of the layout because I want all those trees to go kind of behind the photo and kind of across the page horizontally. And this is going to be sort of like a pink sunset type sky, I guess you could say. This color that I'm adding in is the powder that we got in the October color kit. This is also Lindy's. It's the Autumn Maple Crimson, and it's more of a deep, deep pink color. And it's fun to mix and match all of these products together. I love the color kits and keeping them on my desk each month because they're fun to just create new colors and mix them and match them together. You can see the different shade over there where I'm working on the right. It looks more of a deeper, almost like a purplish pink color. And yeah, it was fun to just experiment. And you can see that my paper is very wet. The gesso allows this to kind of happen without just soaking right through the paper. But I did let it dry, and I thought that I would kind of soften things up a little bit. So I dripped on some white acrylic paint, and then again using the brush, using some water to kind of maybe make it look a little like clouds. I just did this technique a couple weeks ago on another layout that I did for Pink Fresh Studio, where I made a blue background, and I thought it turned out so nice that I just wanted to repeat that and do it again, except using a different color and going in a different direction with the design. But honestly, you saw how easy that was to make. It just takes patience, but it does the work for you, you know. Okay, so I'm going to let that continue to dry, and what I thought I would do is back some of these trees. I'm not going to back all of them. I want to leave some of them open and plain. So what I'm going to do is just pick a couple of these trees, add some glue to the back, stick it right onto some of this pattern paper, and then cut it out. This is a super quick and easy way to back cut files. All of the papers from this month are exclusive, and that means that you cannot get them anywhere else except in these hip kits for this month. So I love this paper here with all the different colored dots. And so yeah, I'm going to use that for a couple trees. I think I wind up backing 2 of each of the style of trees. And I'm trying to keep the pink background in mind. And I know I'm going to have some green on this page because the tree is green in the paper or in the picture. And I did want some of the trees to look like actual trees. So I'm going to back a couple of them with this green pattern paper. And I'm just going to continue to do this on a couple other papers, and same technique, just glue it down and then cut around the edges. And so I've got different little trees here. I've got that white paper that's got faint red lines on it, and that winds up being the only red that's on the page. It doesn't come across as red because it's so small, but I had intended to add some red to this page, but it just worked out to where I didn't, and I think it turned out really, really pretty. So I'm adding some white tissue paper and some adhesive foam behind the photos there. I'm going to start with that. I like to give dimension to the photos and to some of the die cuts and stickers and things that I use. It just makes such a difference, I think, popping things up off the page. And here's what I was talking about. I wanted to sort of layer and tuck in some of these trees to make it look like the photos are kind of in front of this forest of trees. So I'm tucking some in, layering some on top of each other, and some of them are bigger than the others, some of them are small, but you kind of get the idea that I was going for here. And I also want to use the stamp set that we get this month. There are a couple of little Christmas trees in the stamp set, and I wanted to stamp some of those onto my background. So I'm going to wind up kind of repositioning the trees after I do this stamping, but I decided to use black ink because, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to incorporate some black elements since I've got some black in the photos, and there are a lot of black stickers and embellishments and things with black text and black outlines and things. So I thought that I would just go with black to bring in some more pops of that color. And since all of the die cuts or cut files with the trees that I've got are larger, that I thought that these little stamped trees would kind of create some scale and make them look further away, if that makes sense. And I think they look cute, and some of them wind up getting kind of covered up here, but you can still see them along the edges there. So before I put everything back, I wanted to add some snow. You know, I love doing this with white acrylic paint. I just add a little bit of water to it and then just start splattering. And I think this creates awesome looking snow in the background. Even though we're inside, but who cares? I'm making a sky here, so, you know, we can have some snow. And then I decided to use one of the stencils to add some snowflakes. And we get 3 stencils this month. This is the one with the cute little snowflakes. And I'm going to use the same white acrylic paint with a little foam ink blending tool. And then I'm just kind of smudging it on top of the stencil. And these snowflakes are very subtle, but I think they add another element of, you know, like a winter sky. So I've got some snow, I've got some clouds, I've got some snowflakes, and I think this background turns out really, really pretty. And I'm glad that I went with pink because I think in the end it does kind of give the effect of like an evening sunset type of wintry sky. And I think that it goes with the photos well, because it contrasts with some of the dark colors in the photos. And that's another reason why I wanted the background to be on the lighter side, because it's going to give a nice contrast with the pictures. Make them stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I got the background dry, and I love how this looks. I love how those snowflakes just look really subtle. But we're going to take another notch. Here comes my favorite thing from the color kits. You guys know I've been singing the praises of this Nuvo Glimmer Paste. Oh, we're just going to scrape it right onto the background. Let me tell you, I know I said this in my last video, but anything that you scrape this stuff onto, it's going to instantly make it prettier. And this is super easy. I'm literally digging my finger in there, wiping it onto the background, and then scraping it on with my little silicone brush there that I use to scrape on the gesso. This stuff is so glittery. It's so easy to add. I mean, you just rub it on to whatever it is you want to make sparkly, and it's there. It's so easy and so beautiful. I'm going to show you this up close here in just a second. You can already see the shimmer factor there. I mean, yes, it looks shiny, but it's glittery, and you don't get the mess of the glitter because it's in the paste. So if you like the effect of glitter, but you hate actual glitter, then you need this, because yeah, it's awesome. I had some on my finger and I didn't even want to wipe it off because, you know, glitter. Okay, yeah, it's dry. Look at this. Look at that. That was so easy. And so now I have this glittery, shimmery, shiny sky background. And yeah, it's going to reflect in the light there because it's that shimmery, but we're just going to go with it. Absolutely love that glimmer paste. And it is called, does it have a color name? Moonstone. Glimmer Paste Moonstone from Nuvo. Yep. I love that stuff. So I'm going to come back in and start to layer in the trees again. And you'll be able to see the little smaller ones kind of there on the side, kind of like they're further away in the background. And I like that they're black because they echo the black that's in the pictures. So I like how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and start to add some glue behind everything because I don't want to move it. If I move it, I'll never get it back like I have it. So this is kind of my go-to technique of gluing things quite often. When I have it down and I want to leave it there, I just start to kind of peel things up a little bit and squirt some glue under there. And that's where my bottle of glue comes in handy. That's called a fine liner bottle. And then the glue that I use is the Scotch tacky glue. That comes separately. They don't come together. You can find both of them on Amazon. And I believe the bottles are also sold in Hobby Lobby. But if you go to Hobby Lobby, they are on the aisle where they have the small model cars. I don't think these bottles are in the scrapbooking section, but I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in a while. But I love this bottle. It's perfect for scrapbooking. So I got everything glued down, and then I went through all the die cuts, all the acetate pieces, stickers, chipboard, all the goodies that we get, and tried to figure out what I wanted to add on the bottom section of this layout. And again, at this point, I knew that I did not want to use any red. So I found a couple of floral die cuts that are really, really pretty that matched. And then I found some other little trees. I'm going to use several of the acetate pieces. I'm going to use a couple more of the Christmas trees that I'm going to tuck in that are die cuts. Just different color ones. There's a gray one there. I've got that darker green one. Another dark green one here. And I like that those flowers on the bottom, you know, when I think of making a Christmas layout, I don't necessarily think of big flowers, but I think they work really well with this. I love the colors of those, and I love how they look in the little cluster down below the photos. And I really love those acetate little leafy fronds because they look like stamps. That's one of my favorite things about using black, either clear stickers or acetate pieces like this, is they look exactly like stamps. And yeah, I love how that looks. So I'm going to pop up these flowers here with some foam just to give them some dimension, which I love. And then since that light blue flower at the bottom is kind of a new color, I wanted to add in some more pops of that color in other places. So I'm going to do that there on the left with some thread, which is the same color as that flower. And I'm going to kind of wedge it underneath that green tree. So you have a little bit of that blue color kind of peeking out right there. And there is a little bit of that light blue color in the Christmas trees with the dotted pattern paper. So, you know, I like to have, if I have something of one color in one area of a layout, I like to have it in a couple of other areas as well. And I just stuck my paint bottle on top of that tree to help put some weight on it so it would glue down. So I added some of the blue thread there. I'm going to add some pink thread down here underneath this white flower to make it stand out a little bit more, since it's a white flower on top of the white background. It's very subtle, so I like that pop of pink, and I like how the thread looks underneath that flower. So I'm going to get all that glued down, and I'm loving how this is looking. This is what I've got so far. I'm going to tilt it here so you can see the dimension. I love that some of the trees are kind of curling up and popping off the page, and there you can see the difference with the adhesive foam underneath those flowers there. It just creates a little bit of shadow and makes them look a little more 3D. I found another white flower that I'm going to use right there underneath the green tree. And then I'm going to work on a couple of other smaller die cuts. This is a white one with black letters that says memories. And then I realized that these were hiding underneath another set of stickers, but these are exclusive puffy stars. And they're perfect for adding to the tops of these little trees, because, you know, if you got a Christmas tree, you got to put a star or something at the top of it, right? So these were perfect because they're small. And I used some of the blue ones and some of the golden yellow ones, because there is some of that golden yellow in the trees with the dots. And then I thought that I would add a little bit more of the stamping detail with one of the other style of trees. So I'm going to very carefully kind of stamp again on the sides there. And then I thought that I needed yet another pop of that blue color. So I found the exact same color on a Pocket Life card. So I just tore off the edge of a piece of it there, and then used it as a little layer right behind the tops of the photos, just to add a piece of that color kind of peeking out in that area. Because like I said, I kind of like to have that color, or whatever color I'm working with, kind of scattered around the page. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over to the right here and tuck some more of that blue thread underneath that little white Christmas tree, which was a die cut that I punched out of a tag. I think that one came in the set of Advent numbers. We got a whole package of black Advent numbers, so I think that was in there. And then I went to the sticker sheet, found more little stars to add to more Christmas trees. So now I think almost all the trees have a little star. There were a few that don't, and I really wanted to use this as my title, but it was just too big. I could not figure out where to put it. So I'm going to mix and match here. I'm going to cut off Christmas and then use something else to create the word Christmas, but I want to use that magic piece. I love the font of it, and I like that it's small. But I'm going to go and create the word Christmas with these smaller green alphas. And I just cut a piece of plastic, sticker plastic, so I could go ahead and test this out, because I wasn't quite sure where I wanted the title to go. So I'm going to make the word Christmas here so I can move it around and then pair it with magic. And I like that magic is black. And then I liked the green Christmas letters, because I felt like on the bottom part of the layout, I needed a pop of that green to match the two green trees. So I moved it around a couple times and then decided to put it down here, because I like that the bulk of the bottom of the layout is white. The top of it is very colorful, very busy, and so the bottom part pretty much needs to stay white. And I didn't want to add the title too close to the photos. I kind of like that there's a lot of white going on. And so I wanted to keep the title close to the flowers. And then I decided to add some little ornaments to some of these trees, and I thought the sequins would be perfect for that. So I used some of the pink sequins on just a few of the trees. And I like the dimension this creates and the pop of color that it creates. And then I found yet another flower die cut. I'm going to use that. It's a light pink color. And then a couple more stickers. This is from one of the puffy sticker sheets. And I like that this one is that darker pink color. It kind of matches the sequins and it brings a pop of that darker, bolder pink down to the bottom. It says, "Oh, what fun." And I'm going to layer that right above Christmas. And I did add glue behind the green Christmas alphas down there above Magic because I had put gesso on the background and things usually pop right off of gesso. So I did add some glue behind those alphas. And these are the pretty little studio stickers. I think this is one of the only things that we get that are from, that are not exclusive. And these are tiny. I love these. These are perfect. Add a couple of those. And then here's where I decided this really doesn't even make a big difference, but I thought that I needed to add some pink splatters down on the bottom half. I liked that it was white, but I felt like I need something down there to kind of pull that light pink down. So I mixed in the same colors that I used earlier to do that. Add some splatters down bottom. I did it up top, but you can't even really tell. I didn't really need to do it up top, but I wanted these to be kind of soft and subtle. So I rolled over them with my paper towel pretty quickly and then just added a little bit more color underneath the flowers there, just a little bit, just to bring that pink background down a little bit lower. But like I said, I wanted to keep the bulk of the background down at the bottom white. And again, it just kind of resembles snow. It kind of accentuates the feel of a winter layout. So yeah, I like how that looks. They're subtle splatters, but you can still see them there. And then we're almost done here. I'm going to add in, oh yeah, one more sticker. That one says joy and laughter. And it's another pop of black down there at the bottom. So I'm going to do that. And then I didn't want to add a whole lot of journaling, and I didn't really know where to put it. So I just add 2 lines where we were and the date kind of underneath the word magic, and I'm just going to use my black Sharpie there for that. But anyway, that's it. That's the final page. I really love how this turned out. I really loved making that background, and I hope you'll try to make a background like this because it was really not that difficult. It just took some time, but yeah, I think mixing and matching the colors are so much fun, and I hope you'll try it. I hope you got some fun ideas to try from watching this and some inspiration for your November kits. And yeah, I was kind of proud that I managed to pull off a Christmas wintry layout without using any red. That wasn't my intention to begin with, but that's just sort of the way the color scheme went. But you can see all the close-ups here. I took a ton of close-ups. Yeah. I just kind of get carried away when I take all the close-ups. But you can see from the shimmery, glittery there from the Nuvo paste. It's so pretty. I hope you got it this month. I hope you're able to use it and try it. I'm telling you, just smudge it on anything. Anything. Smudge it on a die cut, smudge it on your background. It doesn't matter what you smudge it on. It's going to look instantly pretty. I mean, look, you can see it in all these pictures. It just looks, oh, it looks snowy. It looks sparkly. It's perfect. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.